I say accident, you say emergency. Accident.
Emergency?
Accident.
Emergency.
Accident.
Emergency.
Big up the new case in the emergency department. Word.
Over at Sheffield Children's Hospital is 13-year-old Malia and her mum. What's up, Malia?
The side of my head feels a bit like jelly, pain, and just like dizzy a bit.
Ooh, how did your hurting head happen?
Play fighting with my little brothers the other day.
Malia was at home having a cushion fight with her little brothers Kai and Zach. Well, they'd better watch out, Chris, because in the red corner is Honey the dog! And she's ready to take on all three of them! Right. Malia, Honey the dog, and her two brothers were rolling around on the sofa. Don't downplay Honey's skills, Chris. She's bossing it. Never mind Honey. In the crossfire, Malia was caught by an accidental elbow to the head, followed by a pillow punch. Poor Malia. Was Honey okay? She was fine, but Malia was seeing stars. Ouch!
I think I've got a fracture on my skull.
Now that sounds serious. Have you had bad breaks before?
I've broken over 100 bones before. Other people's bones might be like a rolling pin. They're hard to break. My bones are more like spaghetti.
Malia's right. Her bones are like dried spaghetti, as they can break very easily. This is because she has brittle bone disease, or osteogenesis imperfecta. When you're born, your bones develop and grow strong when a protein called collagen is made by your body. But if you're like Malia and you don't have enough collagen, then your bones are weaker and can break easily. Here to put Malia through her paces is Dr. Simon Scammell.
There is some swelling there, and given your history, we probably ought to do a scan of your head, OK?
Malia's CT scan will take detailed 3D images of the inside of her head. So if she does have a fracture, the doctor will see it clearly. And the results are in.
This is your skull around the outside here, and there's no obvious signs of a break in the bone there at all. So everything looks OK?
That's really good.
If anything changes at all, just bring her back and we'll happily see her again.
Okay.
I'm hopeful that the swelling will settle down and she'll feel a lot better later on with some painkillers.
Great news. Now make sure Honey the cockapoo behaves herself at home.
Bye.
Bye. Now it's time for us to hit the hospitals to show you what goes on. Today Zand is on duty in the plaster room.
If you break a bone, you'll come here to get it plastered.
Plastering broken limbs is a technique that's been used for over 200 years and
This team sees hundreds of patients each week.
so they need to work fast. A plaster cast keeps a broken bone in place so that it can heal in the correct position.
Jack, I'm Dr. Zand. Can you tell me what's happened?
I've broken my thumb, tripped, and it snapped. This bit here.
Right in the joint.
When you get a cast like Jack, first a sock goes on to stop the cast itching. Then a layer of cotton wool padding. And finally a layer of plaster, which sets super quick into a hard shell.
So you're just going to look like, yeah, Jack says yes to this.
Now everyone who gets a cast on obviously has to have it taken off. Like Jordan here.
Jordan, what did you do?
Broke my ankle.
How'd you do that?
I was playing rugby.
Love and kisses. Looks like it might all have been worth it.
To get that cast off requires a saw, but not just any saw. Check this out.
What this saw can do is distinguish between hard and soft things.
Whoa! So it can cut through things like wood or plaster casts, but it won't damage anything soft like your skin.
Let me show you on your hand.
Well, it's amazing. It just tickles.
That's because it has a special vibrating blade, so when it's used by an expert, it means your cast can be off quickly and without hurting you. Anyway, time to meet our next patient. Hang on, I recognise that person.
What have you done?
I broke my leg. What do you think I did?
Did you come off your swing? Did you come off your trampoline?
Yes. Actually, the reason I'm here is because I'm going to get Zand to race Julie and see who can get the cast off quicker.
On one arm will be specialist orthopaedic practitioner Julie, with 17 years' experience. And on the other arm will be Dr. Zand, who's been on the ward for just one day.
On your marks, set, go.
This ward sees hundreds of patients a week, so the team have to be able to get casts on and off quickly. The question is Zand up to the job? Julie's already on the inside. Come on, Zand, what are you doing? A quick snip with the scissors, and I think we have a winner! Somebody is still going, though.
Am I winning?
Let me think about that. No. Oh my goodness, is he ever going to finish?
Yes.
About time, too.
What was the margin?
Julie, you finished in an impressive 51 seconds. Zand, you took just under 5 minutes. If you worked here, which would be ridiculous, Julie would see 5 times as many people as you.
That just goes to show how skilled experts like Julie are. So if you break a bone, you'll be in safe hands, quite literally.
When you get injured, your body is brilliant at mending itself.
This next boy should know he's always having accidents.
If there's a bone to break, he'll break it. If there's a knee to graze, he'll graze it. If there's an ankle to sprain, he'll sprain it. He's the unluckiest kid.
Look out for that squirrel. When you break your arm, it's called a fracture, and it gets put in plaster to keep it in place.
But underneath, the real fixing is done by you.
Wow. Your broken bone leaks blood, and it contains special building blocks, including fibers from proteins called collagen and cartilage.
They build a temporary bridge called a callus, and it stays in place for about 3 weeks.
Then a specialist team called the osteoblasts move in. These are cells that make tiny bits of bone that set like cement.
After a few weeks, your bones have repaired themselves. Your cast will be off, and you're as good as new. Just watch out for squirrels.
Uh-oh.
Oh, dear.
He's the unluckiest kid.
Do you remember this guy, Casper? He came into the emergency department after tripping over a tree stump a year ago.
Casper had an operation to fix a hole in his bone. Now, your bones are a totally unique material. There's nothing else quite like them, and so you need really special stuff to fix them. And today, we're going to find out how that special stuff is made. Come on, you lot. This is Imperial College in London, and scientists here are working on incredible new medical treatments. Professor Julian Jones is working on new ways to fix our bones.
And it all starts with this, a piece of glass. I would have thought that glass would be the very worst thing in the world to repair bones with. It's brittle, it chips, it's sharp, it's not very strong. So either you're crazy or you can explain how it works.
Yes, that is glass, but it also is a special glass called bioglass, and it has special powers. If a surgeon takes that and puts it into the body, it will form a very tight bond to bone. And it also tells the cells in the bone to get active and produce more.
So the glass actually talks to your bones, your broken bones, and says, needs mending over here.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Bone can heal itself really well, but sometimes with a big hole, it needs some help. Bioglass can do this by bridging the gap and giving the body's own cells something to hang on to and make new bone.
Bioglass is made from the same raw materials as window glass, except it's got lots more calcium, which is good for bones.
Well, I think we need to see some glass get made, don't you?
To make bioglass, the raw materials are measured and weighed and then mixed together before being superheated in a special furnace to 1,400 degrees centigrade. This turns the solid sand into a molten hot liquid.
Oh, wow. That is very, very hot. That is amazing. So in here now, this pile of sort of white rubble, that's bioglass.
Yep, it's been quickly frozen into place by the water.
This is brand new bioglass.
It's then dried, sterilised and ground down into a very fine powder, ready to be used as bone-fixing material.
So what the surgeon would do is take some blood from the wound and then just apply it, a little bit of it, to the glass and then sort of make a putty
all those proteins and cells in the blood will clump the grains of glass together, so it ends up like putty, like chewing gum almost.
Yeah. And then the surgeon will just press it into the hole in the bone, and then over a few weeks, months, the bone will repair.
So if your research goes according to plan, in my lifetime, I will see dramatic changes in the way we can treat people's bones.
Absolutely.
Professor Julian is also working on a type of bioglass that can be printed. Its specially designed shape means bones could heal even better. And he's developed a bouncing bioglass.
This is glass, but it doesn't break, it bounces.
Yep, unbreakable glass.
Amazing.
This could replace cartilage, the stuff between your joints.
Bioglass is amazing stuff, and it's in hospitals right now, helping patients like Casper who need their bones fixed. And the best news is, scientists are working on even more applications for this amazing stuff. Thanks, glass.
And now to our lab. Are you ready for some incredible experiments?
I've never seen this happen before.
We're getting gross.
Ugh, we're going big.
And dangerous.
Remember, we can only do these experiments because we're doctors. Don't try this at home. Today, we're looking at your bones.
How many times do I have to tell Zond not to put giant snails on my clipboard? In fact, there are giant snails all over the lab. Zond, this is meant to be a snail-free lab.
I'm preparing for our bone experiment, and to do it, I thought I'd talk to creatures with different kinds of skeleton. Stacy here has got her skeleton on the outside of her body, called an exoskeleton.
Right, and what have you actually learned from talking to the snail?
Stacy's exoskeleton is a little bit like our bony skeletons. It needs to be light enough that she can move, but to support and protect her body, it also needs to be
strong. Well, that's just like human bones, and I have one here.
This bone is over 100 years old. It's an adult human thigh bone, or femur.
Like Stacy's shell, it's light.
But what is amazing about your femur is that this lightweight piece of body kit is one of the strongest bones in your body.
A femur can withstand huge weights pushing down on it. Let's take a closer look to see how that's possible.
Now, your bone gets its strength from its clever design. This outer part of the bone is hard like rock. It's called cortical bone.
But if this thigh bone was solid cortical bone, it would be way too heavy. So let's have a look inside.
Because this bone isn't living, there's no bone marrow. So you can see something else.
At both ends of this bone, there is a fine lattice of thin strands of bone, and this is called trabecular bone. It's very light because of all the space in there. This is a similar kind of structure to the honeycomb in a bee's hive.
The honeycomb structure in your bones is what gives them the strength to withstand weight pushing down on them.
And I can show this to you, Chris, with some toilet roll.
Really? Here they are, all arranged in a honeycomb structure.
Chris, on you get.
All right, on your head be it.
What do you think will happen when Chris stands on them?
Wow, look at that! Zon's toilet roll collection is supporting my entire body weight.
Honeycomb is such a strong structure that your bones can carry a huge amount of weight.
In fact, gram for gram, bone is stronger than steel.
Stronger than steel? Well, that sounds like a challenge.
All right, well, can you give me a hand down and we can do it?
Come on. There you go.
Thank you.
Bumps a daisy. We want to know how much weight a femur can actually hold. We need to put it to the test.
I've built a steel platform that is being propped up by 4 cow femurs, or thigh bones. These bones, which are like yours, have the weight of the platform pushing down on them, a very heavy 300 kilograms. And the bones are happily holding it. So I think we need some heavier things to really put them to the test.
Zond?
Don't worry, Chris. I've got this.
Simon, forwards. There you go, Chris. How's that for heavy?
Well, Zond, I must say this is excellent. You've got a sofa, a coffee table, a television, some shelves, basically the contents of someone's entire lounge. Wait a minute. This is the contents of my lounge.
Now, the 4 cows' femurs are supporting the weight of this very heavy steel platform, the sofa, the coffee table, television, and the bookshelf. That is a total weight of 508 kilos, pushing down on the bones, and they are still happily holding it all up.
Impressive. So we're going to need something even heavier.
Let's add a fridge, freezer, and a washing machine.
Is that my washing machine?
I'm not sure if it's your washing machine, Chris, but it's got your unicorn onesie in it. In she goes. So the question is, can our femurs support the total weight of 715 kilos? And the answer is, they can. I must say, I think we're going to have to find something a bit heavier.
Enough. You're not having anything more from my house. I'm taking all of this back right now.
Oh?
Time to get all this stuff home.
Right. Take it away!
What's going on? What's happening to my stuff?
We're going to find out if those femurs can handle the combined weight of the sofa, the coffee table, the television, the fridge freezer, the bookshelf, the washing machine, the steel platform, and the removal van. And Mr. Grumbles. That's a combined weight of 2,274 kilos.
And the bones are not buckling!
That is amazing, and it's all thanks to the super strong, super light structure of your bones.
So we've shown you that the strength of your bones comes from a special honeycomb structure inside them.
And we've shown that this amazing design means bones can withstand huge weights pushing down on them.
If bones are so strong, you might be wondering, how do they ever get broken? Well, it's all to do with the angle of impact. Femur bones are designed to withstand enormous forces along their length. But if you hit it from the side, it's a different story.
Remember the toilet rolls. End to end, they're immensely strong, but turn them on their side and they crush easily. Well, it's the same with your bones. Now, Zand, what I want you to do is to apply a moderate and precise force to the middle of that bone. You got it?
Absolutely. Stand aside, Chris, while I do some science. Roar! Mighty Zand and his bone-crushing hammer! Daisy. Ouch!
Let's head back to accident and emergency.
For another curious case.
Arriving at Alderhay with her dad is football fanatic Lily.
I play for 2 teams.
2 teams? Zand couldn't even get into one. Oi! What's with the sling? Lily was playing a cup game for her local footy club. As always, she was on top form.
She shoots and she scores!
But the goalkeeper hadn't turned up, so Lily went in goal. The match ended 2-2 and it went to penalties.
It's a tense game, Chris. It's going right to the wire.
The opposition were ready to take their first penalty.
It's a high shot to the top left corner.
Lily reached to save it, when all of a sudden, the ball bent her hand backwards.
Ouch!
Ooh, Lily, why not try something safer like a crossword?
I like football a lot.
Are you sure? Even more than crosswords?
A lot.
Okay, I believe you.
Emergency nurse practitioner Nicola Evans is here to get you back on the ball.
So we're just going to have a little feel.
Nurse Nicola examines Lily's arm to explore the twist in her wrist.
What about when we lift it up?
A bit on that side.
Okay, to the sides.
There.
Right.
With Lily in pain, she's sent straight to X-ray.
That's how done, Lily.
So that's your X-ray. You've got a little crack there. She's broken her radius, which is the big bone in her wrist.
Uh-oh, it's a red card for Lily's radius.
So you won't be playing in the school final?
No.
Oh no, Lily will be on the bench for a while.
Time for a temporary cast so the swelling can go down. But there's only one thing on Lily's mind.
I'm going to miss the final now.
At least your arm's going to get better.
Wise words, Dad. She'll be back on the football pitch before she knows it.
Bye, Lily.
Ouch! In the emergency department, our next patient has had an unusual accident.
Luckily, she's in the right place to get it sorted.
For you.
For you?
For you!
Don't be silly.
Waiting in A&E is 4-year-old Bella Rose.
I've got a sore hip.
A sore hip? How has she managed that?
You're going to love this one, Zond. Bella Rose was hanging out with her 9-year-old cousin Connor.
Sounds cool. Was she playing football?
No, she was dancing.
Doing the robot?
No, Zond.
It must have been Gangnam Style.
No, Zond, she was breakdancing, doing the worm.
The worm?
Yes, Bella Rose was such a wiggly worm that she banged her side and hurt her hip.
Ouch!
Oopsies.
Oopsie indeed.
She never cried or anything after. It was the next day. Just to be on the safe side, we always get her checked out because she's got a condition called brittle bone disease, so she's more prone to fractures.
Brittle bone disease, or osteogenesis imperfecta, means Bella Rose's bones are very fragile.
When you're born, your bones develop and grow when a protein called collagen is made by your body. Collagen gives your bones strength.
But sometimes not enough collagen is made, and this means bones are weaker and can break more easily, which is what can happen to Bella Rose.
Dr. Colin Wong is on hand to investigate.
Get you to bend your hip. Oh, well done. I'm just going to turn it, and if it's sore, you let me know, okay, darling? I was just gently moving her leg to try and see where she was most sore. If I press it there, is that sore?
That's tickle.
Ticklish, right.
Bella had an X-ray when she first arrived at hospital. Dr. Wong takes a look.
This is the thigh bone, which has got a pin in it. It seems to be a nice straight line. If we look on this side, we can see that the nice straight line has gone. It looks as though she's got a fracture in her left hip. And the question is it an older injury or is it one that she's done whilst dancing with her cousin last night?
To find out, Dr. Colin rings Bella Rose's regular doctor.
While waiting, she does what all poorly people do.
Nice moves, Bella Rose.
I've spoken with the bone doctor at Sheffield Children's Hospital, and she said the injury is an old one.
Good news, it isn't broken again.
I think it's just a passing pain. Hopefully we'll be all right tonight. You take care, missus. Easy on the dancing.
I'm going to keep on dancing.
Good for you.
Bye-bye, Bella Rose.